I stared into the tall, cracked mirror and it did not show my room. It showed me. I was outside in the dark, standing by the road sign on Maple Street. Rain ran down my face. My lips looked gray. My eyes were the wrong color, like old ice. In the glass my mouth moved. I watched myself whisper, "After you're gone?" The bulb above me flickered. The door behind me creaked open. We rewind to the start of that week, before the mirror learned my name. Mom had moved us to Cedar Falls, Ohio, to take care of Aunt Kelly's old house. It used to be a small and long ago. The hallways were narrow. The floors talked at night. The air smelled like damp wood and iron. The front steps were green with moss. We called them the frog steps. The mirror came from a yard sale on Main Street. Aunt Kelly placed it at the end of the upstairs hall, between two windows that never quite closed. The glass had a fog in it, like breath that never went away. The frame was black and carved with little leaves and tiny faces. If you touched it, the wood felt cold even in sun. "It's pretty," Mom said. "It's weird," I said. "It's a good spot," Aunt Kelly said. "Makes the hall look longer." That night, the mirror made the hall look forever long. When I walked past it to get my charger, I saw shadows stretch and bend in the glass, like they were tired of being on the floor and wanted to stand up. My little brother, Ben, was 9. He liked to record things. He had a tiny voice recorder with a red button. He said he was making a podcast called Real Scary. He recorded the house sounds. He recorded the creek behind the yard. He recorded me singing Bad on Purpose. On the first night, around dinner, the kitchen bulb began to blink. Blink, blink. It gave a soft buzzing sound. "Cheap bulb," Mom said. She tapped the base. It steadied, then blinked again like a slow eye. We laughed it off. We always laugh first. After dinner, Ben left his recorder on the hall table near the mirror. "Let's catch ghost sounds," he said. "There are no," I started, then heard something. Tap. A soft tap on glass. Then another. Tap, tap. We both looked at the mirror. It was dark outside and the windows beside it were black like two eyes. Dust drifted in the hall, turning in the air like tiny stars. The tap came again right at the middle of the glass where the fog looked deepest. I stepped closer. "Is someone outside?" I asked. "There's no outside," Ben said. "It's a wall." I leaned in. My breath made a small circle of clear. In that circle, for a second, I saw a street sign. Maple Street. The letters were backward like mirror letters, but I could still read them. Then my breath faded and it was just our hall again. "I saw a street sign," I said. "Cool," Ben said like it was a magic trick. He lifted his recorder and clicked the red button. "Say your name," he told the mirror. "Don't," I said, but I was smiling. Felt like a game. He held the recorder up close. "Hello, mirror," he said. "This is Ben. Are you real?" Silence. We listened to the house. The fridge hummed. A night train far off let out a long, low cry. The mirror said nothing. Ben shrugged. "Maybe it only works at midnight," he said. He put the recorder down again. I went to my room at the end of the hall. My window looked at the backyard. The trees there were tall, and the wind ran through them like a fast hand, making the leaves shiver. I did homework. I texted my best friend back in Columbus. I forgot the mirror. At 11:45, I went to brush my teeth. The hall felt colder than my room, like the air was thinner. The mirror stood there like a tall, quiet person. The fog inside it looked thicker. The small faces in the carved frame seemed to watch me. I didn't like that thought. I looked down and walked fast. In the bathroom, I heard a small sound from the hall. Not a tap this time. More like a slow drag. Like a chair leg moving across old floor. It came closer, then stopped. I turned off the water and held my breath. My hair lifted at my neck as if someone had opened a freezer door behind me. "Mom?" I could see the dark sleeve of her jacket with the white stripe down the arm. What? I had that jacket on. This is a reflection, I told myself. It's copying me, that's all. But I wasn't outside. I wasn't wet. The mirror wasn't copying. It was showing something else. It was showing a later. Maybe. Ben lifted his recorder. "What day is it in there?" he asked the glass like it could answer. The glass did not speak. The girl did. Her mouth formed one word. "Run." My heart thumped. The TV downstairs clicked off. The house fell to a deeper blue. Shadows stretched longer and darker around our feet. Picture frames along the hall were turned around, glass facing the wall. My fingers went numb. "Mom?" Ben called, voice small now. "Mom?" No answer. Just the sound of slow tapping on glass. Not from the mirror. From the little picture above the hall table. Tap, tap. It shook in a tiny rhythm like something on the other side of the wall was knocking to get in. "Stop," I said. I pressed the frame with my palm. It went still. When I took my hand away, the doorknob on Aunt Kelly's room turned. It turned slow, as if someone on the other side was learning how it worked. The door opened an inch. Cold air slid out and wrapped our legs. The smell was like wet leaves and hospital soap. A thin, whispering breath came from the crack. "Lily," it said again. I grabbed Ben's wrist. "We're going downstairs," I said. We took one step. The mirror flashed like lightning inside it. The girl in the glass lifted her hand. She pointed past us down the stairs. Her gray mouth shaped the word no. Her eyes begged. "Which way?" Ben asked, voice shaking hard now. I had never felt so split in two. Downstairs meant the front door and the street. But the girl in the mirror stood at that street in the rain near the cars. My chest hurt. My head felt hot and cold at the same time. "Stay together," I told Ben. "Don't let go." We inched down the hall. The floorboards creaked under our feet like old trees. Then, from below, we heard the slow, heavy sound of something dragging across the living room floor. Not a chair this time. Something dull and large. It scraped. It stopped. It scraped again. "Who's there?" I called. "We have a phone." Static answered. It came from my pocket. My phone lit by itself, screen white then black. Then the time on it changed to 3 a.m. and stuck there. The mirror's picture changed. It showed the front door, the frog steps, the street, the rain. It showed lights moving far down the road, then closer, long and white, shining like eyes. It showed the glow wash over the Maple Street sign. It showed me still standing there, lifting my hand like I could stop what was coming. "Don't go outside," I whispered to myself. The doorknob downstairs clicked. The front door opened on its own. Wind rushed in. The house breathed cold. At the same time, behind us, Aunt Kelly's door swung wide. The hallway filled with a hush, like a crowd holding its breath. From the dark of that room, a tall figure stepped out and filled the doorway, black as a cut in the world, and said my name. I couldn't move. The figure filled Aunt Kelly's doorway, tall, thin, still. The dark around it looked heavier than the rest of the hallway, like it brought its own shadow. It breathed in. The sound was slow and ragged, like dragging wet paper across wood. "Mom?" I whispered. The figure took one step forward. The floor creaked. The mirror behind us shivered with light, the fog rippling like wind over water. Ben gripped my arm. I felt his nails press through my sleeve. Then, dark. Every light in the house snapped off at once. The hum, the buzzing, the small sounds of electricity, gone. The air was thick and silent. I heard only the faint click of Ben's recorder as it stopped. "Don't move," I whispered. A soft voice came from the black. Too late. The lights came back with a weak blink. The figure was gone. The hall was empty. Aunt Kelly's door stood open, dark and cold inside. "Where'd it go?" Ben asked. I shook my head. Maybe it was a trick of the lights. But we both knew it wasn't. Mom came up the stairs, rubbing her eyes. "What are you kids doing?" "It's midnight." "There was someone," I began. She frowned. "No one's here but us. Get to bed." She shut Aunt Kelly's door, but the cold air still seeped. The mirror's fog thinned. Now it showed the front door wide open. Rain pouring. Wind shaking the trees. And then, Mom standing there, confused, holding her phone like a flashlight. "She's outside," Ben whispered. "No," I said. "She's here." We turned. Mom was halfway up the stairs, her eyes wide, her hair lifting in the wind that shouldn't be there. "Kids," she said softly, "what's?" Her phone flickered, lighting her face for 1 second. In that flash, her reflection in the mirror smiled. But she didn't. The reflection smiled wider, teeth too bright, eyes too dark. Then it raised a hand and pressed its palm against the inside of the glass. The mirror's surface rippled like water around it. "Mom, get away from it," I screamed. The reflection's fingers pushed through the glass like melting ice. Drips of silver light slid down. The smell of metal filled the air. The real Mom froze, eyes wide, as her reflection leaned out of the mirror toward her. Ben grabbed my hand. "Run." We stumbled back as the mirror began to shake. The floorboards groaned. The glass cracked once, then again, spreading lines like spider webs. Through the cracks, I saw my other self smiling in the rain. Then the mirror gave a sharp, high sound, like a scream trapped in metal, and the glass burst outward. Shards hit the walls and floor. The hall filled with mist and freezing air. When it cleared, the mirror frame was empty. And Mom was gone. The hall was silent after the shatter, too silent. The fog hung in the air like smoke that didn't know where to go. The floor was glittered with broken pieces, each shard showing a different part of the house in its reflection. The stairs, the wall, Ben's terrified face, my empty hands. "Mom?" I whispered. My voice came out shaky. "Mom?" Nothing. Just the drip 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 of water from somewhere unseen. Ben knelt near the frame, his recorder still clutched tight. "She was right here," he said. "She didn't fall. She didn't run. She just..." "Stop." I pressed my hand to my mouth. My breath came quick and cold. "We're getting out. Now." We stepped carefully over the shards, down the stairs into the living room. The air smelled wrong, wet like rain had come inside. The front door was shut, but the rug beneath it was soaked. Wind pushed faintly at the windows, though outside the rain had stopped. "Check outside," I told Ben. "Stay where I can see you." He opened the door. The porch was dark. The street lamp flickered across the frog steps. Everything looked still. "No, Mom." He turned back. "She's not." He stopped. His eyes went wide. "What?" I asked. He pointed down the hall behind me. I turned. The mirror was whole again. No cracks. No glass on the floor. Just standing there, perfect and tall, the fog sealed smooth inside. And in it, Mom. She was there, in the reflection only, standing by the frame, her face pale. Her lips moved. "Help me," she said, soundless. Ben dropped his recorder. It clattered on the wood. "How is it?" "I don't know," I said. "Don't go near it." He didn't listen. He took one slow step forward. "Ben?" He stopped inches away. The mirror glowed faintly, like moonlight under water. The fog swirled, forming shapes. Mom reached out a hand from inside, pressing it flat on the glass. Her eyes begged. "Mom?" Ben said. "Can you hear us?" Her mouth formed the words, "Come here." I grabbed him back. "No." The lights flickered again. The air grew colder. Somewhere upstairs, a door slammed. "Something's wrong," I said. "That's not her. She needs help." Ben cried. "Look at her." The mirror rippled again. Behind Mom's reflection, it yanked hard. I screamed, pulling forward with everything I had. My fingers touched Ben's hand through the frame. He pulled. The shadow shrieked, a sound like breaking glass, and let go. The world flashed white. When I woke up, the mirror was gone. The frame lay empty on the floor. Ben knelt beside me, crying. Mom held us both. The air felt warm again. Morning light slid through the window. "It's over," Mom whispered. "It's gone." But I didn't answer. My eyes drifted to a shard of glass still lying by the wall. In it, I saw my reflection. It blinked half a second too late. And behind it, in the tiny sliver of silver, something tall moved closer.